Hello and welcome to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday, Shenandoah County edition. We are recording from the corporate headquarters of the Shenandoah Valley Music Festival in Woodstock. I've just given you a fancy new office description.
I appreciate that. Corporate HQ.
Dennis Lynch is here with me. He is their executive director. The music festival, Shenandoah Valley Music Festival, is upon us.
It is way upon us. Let me tell you, it's coming closer and closer and closer.
It's such a fun thing to do in the summer. I am sure that you have people that as soon as those tickets go on sale, they're buying the entire season. They want to come to all of them.
You're exactly right. There are some people that are sitting there waiting by the computer, just say, okay.
Is it time?
Hit that button quick.
We have to come up with a name for them. Taylor Swift has her Swifties.
That's right.
We need to come up with a name for your people.
I got to give that some thought. Our Shennies.
Well, and it's such a beautiful venue. For someone who hasn't been to Orkney Springs and been there for one of your concert experiences, it is like traveling to a different world. It's just not what people think it is until they show up there.
You don't expect to see a place like that in the northern Shenandoah Valley. Our venue is a magnificent place called Shrinemont, by the way, celebrating its 100th birthday this year. It's their centennial year. They take such good care of the place. It does not look a year over 99. But it is a remarkable place. It's like stepping back in time. A lot of people say that, but it's like stepping outside the area too. It's like there's this aura.
It's like a bubble
out there. It is exactly like a bubble. One of the reasons for that is, and this will have to be the topic of a future program, is the Basie Vortex.
Okay.
You look it up, basievortex.com. And according to the Vortex people, I don't know a whole lot about vortices, vortexes, whatever the word is, but one of those things, vortices, is like right in the middle of where we park our car. So I'm thinking maybe some of it's leaking out there and getting over into the concert area.
It's not a terrible thing.
Hey, if it makes people go out there, have a good time, I'm down with it.
And there is plenty of parking. There are, I think, a lot of misconceptions around this music festival in particular for people who have never been. And it's, I don't know how to get there, and they can't possibly have parking, and what am I going to do about eating? All of those things are covered, and they could stay at Shrinemont even if they wanted.
From point A to point Z, we got it covered for you. Parking is free. A lot of people think, oh no, it's a festival. I have to pay to park, don't I? No, you do not. Parking is free. You can bring your own picnic. Many of our patrons include in that picnic, they bring their favorite libation, shall we say.
Their favorite bubbly or sparkly.
That's right. And as you said, you can even stay overnight there and get a discount both on Shrinemont rates and on ticket rates.
Oh, that makes it nice.
Yeah.
That makes it a whole experience because you have some of these concerts are back to back. Like you've got the 18th and 19th of July, 25th, 26th, 15th, 16th of August. They're all 2 days in a row, so it's ideal.
It's your perfect staycation. If you can't afford to go to the beach or you can't afford to go to the Canadian Rockies or whatever, here is your staycation. Come on out to Orkney Springs.
And Shrinemont does food. They provide food for these events.
Yes, there is a food concession at each festival concert that is operated by Shrinemont. There's also ice cream sold at each concert by our magnificent fundraising group, the Shenandoah Valley Music Festival Guild. They've been doing it for, years and years and years. They have a wonderful setup out there. They serve hard ice cream. I believe they still get it from Garber's in Winchester. And every time someone makes a donation, they come in, they buy their ice cream. If somebody says, keep the change, or here's an extra $20 for the cause, they ring a bell and hoot and holler. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
So that's a good thing to also remind everyone is that the Shenandoah Valley Music Festival is a nonprofit. You're not one of these big music production companies that are putting these concerts on so that you can drive a nicer car.
That's exactly right. And if you saw my Volkswagen Jetta with 357,000 miles on it, I would drive that point straight home. This is a small nonprofit. This is our 62nd year of doing concerts in the Shenandoah Valley. 62 years.
That seems crazy.
Holy cow.
Does it get any easier year over year over year finding the performers?
Word gets out after a while. The organization was started to present symphonic music, and lo, those many years ago in 1963. We started adding different genres in about the earlier mid-'80s, and we've been self-programming ever since. And after a while, you develop relationships with some of the agencies, some of the agents, and some of the managements, and word gets out amongst them. So I'm generally not met with, who? If I make a phone call, oh yeah, Shenandoah Valley Music Festival. Everybody likes it because we're about 2 hours away from DC.
Right.
And I-95, which is the main north-south corridor for touring in the summertime. And 2 hours away is enough that it doesn't mess with any of the radius clauses of the DC or Richmond area.
And it's easy enough that if they're already there performing anyway, you could be an easy add-on.
That's correct. Absolutely right.
And you also have the luxury, I'll call it, of knowing what people like. So you don't have to have something entirely different every single year. If you know you've got a performer that people really like and really love, you may not do them every year, but you have a little bit of freedom to be able to pick and choose.
There's some flexibility here. It's not a one genre festival. It's not all Americana or all jazz or all whatever. You name it, we mostly got it. Mostly. And there are a couple of constants. Every year, our year-end surveys, our audience tells us that they love classic rock.
It's like the greatest music ever.
We always try to have a classic rock act. This year, it's Grand Funk Railroad. Our audience loves Motown, too. They tell us they love Motown. So we've had the Temptations, we've had the Four Tops. A band this year called the Motortown All-Stars, made up of guys from some of those different huge Motown acts. So there are a few constants in the year. We always do one mini fest that's 3 acts, one night, generally with an Americana kind of vibe, some bluegrass normally.
So let's start with July 18th, the Motortown All-Stars, the music and magic of Motown. Do you need a voiceover? I could do those.
No, what I need is for the phone to stop ringing.
Hey, it's people calling to buy tickets.
Keep those calls coming in, folks. The Motortown All-Stars, a wonderful band made up of one guy used to be with the Temptations, one guy used to be with the Four Tops, and a few other huge Motown acts like that. Because who doesn't love Motown?
Right? It's such happy music.
It is.
Considering it was created during a not so happy time in our history.
You can't hear Motown music and go away sad. That's why we love to program that. Tickets are going pretty well for that, but I should say, if you want to buy tickets, we'll make room for you.
That's the beauty of the pavilion and the lawn.
We have reserved seats undercover, almost 600 of them. You can buy in there. Or if you want to bring your picnic, bring that aforementioned libation, you can go sit on the lawn, bring your blanket, bring a low beach chair, bring what we used to call high chairs, but people got a little misunderstood that a little bit. It's regular size chairs, not a high chair.
But no tents, no canopies, none of that sort of thing. You don't want to block the view from somebody else.
Exactly. No tents, no canopies, and sorry about Fido. You got to leave him at home too. Or Muffy, whatever you're...
In my case, it would be Briscoe and Miller, and I come to these things to get away from them. So that's not a problem for me.
Hire a dog sitter.
Right, yes. But it really is an experience. I'm sure that you have people that only ever want to sit under the pavilion. I've never come to any of the shows and had a pavilion seat because I really like the lawn. I like being out and being able to see everything around me. I don't know that I would want to sit under the pavilion, but a lot of people do.
Oh, that's exactly right. They like the cover because I'm gonna let you know a little secret here. You promise not to share this with anybody?
I won't tell a soul.
It does rain sometimes. Not often. The Orkney Springs, Timberville area is the driest part of Virginia.
That's part of the vortex we were talking, the Basie vortex we were talking about earlier.
Rain falls in a vortex, and a vortex just whoops it right out. But yeah, it is closer. when you're sitting in the pavilion. You can see the artists a little better, see what their hands are doing on the keyboard and on the guitar strings. The lawn area starts, it's really not very far from the stage. Some bigger venues, our lawn area would be like the second tier of seating. There's the primary tier and then the secondary tier. So it's not that far back. And you do get to spread out a little bit. Like you said, bring your blanket, bring your cooler.
And an umbrella, just in
an
case.
Umbrella, sure.
The one of the shows that I came to, it rained, but it didn't last long. It didn't rain hard. And I think it adds to the whole experience of an outdoor concert.
That plus you're playing the odds pretty well. It's okay, the concert is 2 hours long, gates open 2 hours beforehand. What are the odds that it's going to rain during those specific 4 hours? Hey, play the odds. What's the
But it
over
is
and under
rain or
on
shine. So if I buy a ticket and see the radar or look at the weather, you're not going to cancel that concert. I'm just going to lose out if I choose not to take advantage of my ticket.
The concert's going rain or shine.
So after the Motortown All-Stars, you have Gaelic Storm. That's a different music genre.
Gaelic Storm. We've had some luck with Irish music in the past, and there's an audience for it. We've had Eileen Ivers, the original Riverdance fiddler, for so many years. Last year, we had the High Kings also. It was a wonderfully famous European, Irish band, famous in Europe and the rest of the world. So we said, we ought to bring back some Irish music. So Gaelic Storm's the headliner that night. They are the band that played in Third Class in the movie The Titanic.
Oh.
I want to specify it was the movie Titanic, not on the real Titanic. They'd be dead if they were on the real Titanic. But yeah, in that wonderful Third Class Irish music jig scene, that band was Gaelic Storm.
Get out.
We're looking forward to a real high energy night that night. And just because you guys are at like 100 million megavolts of energy, that might not be enough, so we're going to hire a great opener.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. The band called the Screaming Orphans. I've been trying to hire them.
You just
years.
wanted to be able to say that on the radio, didn't you? The Screaming Orphans.
You got me, Janet. I confess. But it's a group of 4 ladies, originally born and raised in Donegal. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. The farthest northwestern wilds of Ireland. And they have since relocated to the far northwest of Connecticut, an even wilder place. They'll be coming in for it. So we're looking forward to getting a long night's sleep after that one, because it's going to be a high energy.
But those are really fun too. I think those are the ones that you walk away from. I would guess that people get so pumped after those types of concerts that they're probably scrolling through to see what other tickets they can get for the rest of the season, because now the bug has bitten them.
You're exactly right. Also, the really high energy concerts are the ones people are out there dancing on our quote-unquote dance floor. They're dancing in the grass. They're dancing everywhere, because you just gotta move when you hear that kind of music.
Let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk about Grand Funk Railroad. You can maybe hum a few tunes. He's not going to do that. I would not subject people to any of that.
I'd have to pay Performing Arts Organization rights on that.
That's true. We don't want this to cost you any more than it's already costing you out of pocket. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear the rest of the lineup for the Shenandoah Valley Music Festival. We are sitting in their corporate headquarters in Woodstock today with Dennis Lynch, their executive director, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Hello, nonprofits. Have a project that's been sitting on the back burner? United Way NSV's Day of Caring returns on September 19th, and your nonprofit can be a part of it. This is the region's largest single-day volunteer event with over 900 volunteers ready to help. Whether it's painting, landscaping, organizing, or repairs, Day of Caring gives your organization hands-on support and saves thousands in maintenance costs. It's simple. Submit your project, let United Way match you with a team, focus more of your budget on what matters most, your mission. Learn more at unitedwaynsv.org/Day of Caring or reach out to dayofcaring@unitedwaynsv.org. Let us send helping hands your way. Welcome back to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday, Shenandoah County edition. Carrie Hahn is off at camp, and we are sitting here with Dennis Lynch. This is my summer camp. So my summer camp when Carrie leaves is to come to Woodstock, to the corporate headquarters of Shenandoah Valley Music Festival, and catch up with my dear friend Dennis Lynch. It's always fun talking to you. I'll probably laugh more with you than I do a lot of the other guests that I have. But it is such a great experience to go to one of these concerts, to see some of these performances that I love. We get to catch up and share it with everybody every year.
I love sharing it with everybody on the radio, on the Valley Today, the radio as we used to call it.
And a little known fact, you actually used to work at the River 95.3. It wasn't the River then,
it wasn't,
right?
It was WFTR, FM and AM. The FM came first. Never did figure that out, but I did what the boss told me to.
That's just how it works.
This is Dennis Lynch reporting.
You mentioned in the first part of our conversation that classic rock always does well whenever you have those performers, and that's who you've got on July 25th, a classic rock group.
People love it, and we're here to please. Grand Funk Railroad, they're on the American Band Tour. People are very familiar with their hits, including We're an American Band. Looking forward to having them. Tried to get them a couple years ago, just the stars didn't align, but this year everything worked out.
And we talked earlier, too, about how each of these concerts typically are back-to-back nights. But they're not the same type of music back-to-back nights. So after that, you've got the Lynchburg Symphony Orchestra big band. So you're coming out of the 1980s and right into World War
Right back into the 1940s. This concert might be the sleeper of the summer. It's a project that I've really enjoyed working on. July 26th. We're calling it Swing into Victory. It is a concert to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. The Lynchburg Symphony Orchestra has this magnificent big band made up of all of their regular players, and they're coming up to do that. A wonderful vocalist is coming over from Northern Virginia to sing, and we're also going to have demonstration dancers. Lindy Hop and Jitterbug, whatever you want to call it, demonstration dancers. They're coming out of Woodbridge, coming on over. They'll be dancing probably half a dozen or more of the numbers. We've also commissioned a young local guy to do some videos of the end of the war. What we're trying to capture is that feeling of celebration that everybody was feeling at the end of World War II. Relief, certainly another emotion. We've had one of our staffers, one of our summer guys, combing the National Archives, the Library of Congress, and newspaper archives, and just any source he can find for material, for content, for these videos are going to accompany some of the songs.
I think it's fantastic. And I love that every season you still pay homage to your roots, to the symphonic part of the music. There's always a symphony in your lineup every year.
You're exactly right. That's why we were created. You don't have many opportunities to hear symphonic players in the summertime in our area, so we want to make sure that that still remains a part of what we do. Also, for those of you who may think, that's a really cool era, I really like the music of the era, but I have two left feet. I can't dance. But wait, there's more. Some instructors from Harrisonburg Swing will be there, and they will be giving an hour-long lesson in swing dancing between the time the gates open and the time the concert starts.
This is going to be a TikTok gold mine for you. You know that, right? One of the very first shows that I ever came to, Piedmont Symphony Orchestra, was here. And you think, oh, that's probably going to be a little stuffy, or symphony. That's not really something that's going to get you pumped up and be excited about hearing music until you hear them playing. You just don't know. It is so crazy. When they started, in that case, they had a rock band. In this case, it's going to be the swing dancing. They add so much to what you're watching and what you're listening to that you're just going to be shocked why you haven't listened to symphony music in the past.
I agree, absolutely. It's some of the greatest music ever written. Also, as a special sort of thank you, any World War II vets that want to come to this concert, they and a companion, they're on us.
Nice.
If I had a list of them, I'd send them invitations, but I don't. So please help me get the word out to those folks. And any veteran of any war, or a peacetime veteran too, if you are a veteran of the military, you can get a lawn ticket for the low price of, wait for it, $19.45. $19.45. Yeah, I came up with that one, and the box office people still aren't speaking to me because they got to lay in all those nickels.
Nickels. I know, I was thinking you did not think that through at all.
But yeah, if you're a vet, you can get 2 1945 tickets. And if you're a World War II vet, you are absolutely free.
The whole concert is on you.
Yep.
So then August 15th, you have a Fleetwood Mac tribute band. So I'm going to tell you a story that isn't going to be on the radio, so everyone listening today is going to have to go to the podcast. I met Mick Fleetwood.
You did?
I did. Not under the greatest of circumstances. It was at Nissan Pavilion. I don't even know what that's called now.
Yeah.
Jiffy Lube or something. I worked for a different radio station, went down to see REO Speedwagon, Fleetwood Mac, and Pat Benatar.
Wow.
Was backstage
that's quite
because
a
I worked at WKMZ, so that was our music. And so we got backstage passes. I was there with one of the DJs, 2 of the DJs actually. We all went down together, and we're backstage and we're hanging out and we're drinking. And REO Speedwagon was the group for me back then, and I was so excited. I'm running around, had a little too much probably to drink, and walked into this person, stopped, and of course, I'm barely 5'1", and I just keep looking up and looking up. Imagine someone seeing the Jolly Green Giant for the first time, and I look up, and he looks down at me, and he says, "Who are you, little girl?" And so I said, "I'm Janet, and I am with the radio station. Who the hell are you?" I had no idea who it was. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, my feet literally leave the ground because Cliff Maxwell has come up behind me, has put his arms around my waist, and is lifting me up, moving me away. "I'm sorry, Mr. Fleetwood. I'm sorry. She doesn't know. She has problems," and removes me from the whole situation. And I go sit down. I'm like, "Who the hell is Mick Fleetwood?" I had no idea who it was. So there's my once-in-a-lifetime Mick Fleetwood story.
That's wonderful. He probably didn't know what hit him.
Right.
Whenever we make a bad crew mistake like that, I always say, "Oh, excuse me there, artist. He's off his meds today. You have to excuse him."
Yeah. But that was an amazing concert too. I have the T-shirt signed by all the REO Speedwagon people, and
that's an amazing.
It was pretty cool.
bill.
Pat
Oh my
Benatar
gosh.
was backstage. Had one of her kids who's probably like a grandmother herself now, but she was there in a stroller. We got to sit and play with her little girl. It was like the
that's
coolest,
so cool.
coolest thing ever. I have since become a huge fan of Fleetwood Mac. I do know who they are now.
Now's your chance.
Yes.
I heard these folks, Rumors ATL, at a showcase conference several years ago, and I swear I kind of like them a little better than Fleetwood Mac.
What?
Yeah, sorry to say, Janet. I know I'm bursting your bubble here, but you're going to love these folks.
That goes back to that 80s classic rock of sorts that we were talking about, because there are going to be so many people in the crowd. They're like, "Oh, I forgot about that song." Or they start playing one of the songs, and it immediately, there's something about classic rock and 80s music in particular that tends to transport you to a particular moment or place in your life, and you just suddenly remember everything. Smell does the same thing, but music, you hear a song and you're like, "Oh."
That's a great thing about music. It's the best time travel device we have.
And then coming up on the 16th, you've got Hot Strings and Cool Breezes. A little bit of a change this season.
We moved this up a little bit. It usually is the last concert of the season on Labor Day weekend, but we had to move it up to accommodate some different artist schedules. So Hot Strings and Cool Breezes is coming at you on Saturday, August 16th this year. And the headliner is the Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band. Can I say that on radio?
You did,
Okay,
so I'm not bleeping it.
Reverend Peyton is this wild, energetic mix of kind of Americana, roots, little jazz, little funk, little blues thrown in. Again, really high energy act. We've made him promise not to do his final thing where he uses fire on stage.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Probably not a good thing to do out there.
It's way too close to the historic home of Shrinemont.
Yeah, we want to keep everything intact. But he is also doing a free to the public guitar workshop at 4 o'clock that afternoon. The concert starts at 6 o'clock, gates are at 5 o'clock, and the Reverend Peyton's doing a guitar workshop at 4 o'clock.
That's cool.
Thanks to the folks with the Shannon Music Heritage Fund with the Community Foundation.
That's the other thing that's really cool about this series is it's not just coming to listen to music either. You have these little nuggets of things that people get to do.
We try to keep little Easter eggs here and there every now and then.
Now, coming up on the 30th of August,
The 30th
I've been
of August.
hounding you to no end.
Now, what act was that again?
That
Just kidding.
is the Bacon Brothers. I even told you that I wasn't going to let you do the show unless Kevin was sitting in that chair right there. And yet, because I like you, he's
Wow.
not, and you
I
are.
appreciate that.
I think that is outstanding that you got the Bacon Brothers.
We've been trying to get them for a few years, and again, we have these 8 firm dates that we deal with every year, and sometimes you got to wait a couple years, and it's just like pieces of a big jigsaw puzzle that are time sensitive, moving and on fire.
It's like a Tetris game, and it all has to fall into place at the right time.
Exactly. So we managed this year, everything, the stars aligned, and Kevin Bacon and his brother Michael, the Bacon Brothers, are coming on Saturday of Labor Day weekend. That is August 30th.
You'll get to come and see how many degrees of Kevin Bacon you actually are.
I'm ruining everybody's game here. I'm hoping that I can get a handshake with him or something so I can whoa. 0 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
That's
Here
what.
I
Yes,
am.
we've got to figure that out. I'm never letting you back on the radio again unless you figure out how to have me get a selfie with Kevin Bacon. That's all I ask in life.
Well, let me see what I can do. Now, can't just be with Kevin either. He's got a brother Michael who's a very
that's
fine
fine.
music.
Yeah, he's half a degree, so that should fit.
The Bacon Brothers.
Brothers, and then your big finale.
The big finale
The
is
moving around is
Shenandoah.
Yeah.
Great classic country band from the 90s. Marty Raybon, still their lead singer. Also, special guest, the Dan James Trio from Front Royal.
What?
I kid you not. So you can get a 2 for that night. Hear Shenandoah and hear a great local band.
And Shenandoah is like the epitome of 80s country.
They are. It's a whole classic sound from that era that sounds so much different than
Yes.
what they call country music now.
Right? Yeah, they are of the Statler Brothers, Oak Ridge Boys,
Yeah.
back in the day, early George Strait type of country music.
And
Ronnie
they're-
Millsap, that sort of thing.
And also, they're just so delighted to be coming here. They're so tickled for Shenandoah to be playing the Shenandoah Valley Music Festival.
In the Shenandoah Valley. It's like the
Yeah.
trifecta.
In Shenandoah County. You got a quad thing going there.
That is awesome. So where can people get tickets? Can they get a deal if they buy more than one to more than one concert? What's the deal with
You
that?
can get tickets at musicfest.org. That's our website, musicfest.org. Tickets are always available there. If you're looking for the package deal, the rooms at Shrinemont and the tickets, you can call the hotel, you can call Shrinemont directly at 856-2141. That's 856-2141.
It's the radio coming back at it.
I mean, I tell you, I feel like answering, oh, you're caller number 1, you're caller number 2. We're
Sorry,
running the
try
contest
again.
here. But yeah, definitely check out the website because there's more information on all of these bands. There's more information on the music festival. We can answer questions on that website that you don't even know you have.
What? Now I gotta go look at it.
There you
because
go.
I'm in the business of asking questions, so I should probably know what all of them.
That's right. You have a list of everybody who's played here before. Just all kinds of cool stuff on there.
And if I'm not mistaken, you always team up with the radio station, with the River 95.3 every year. So there will probably be tickets given away on the air at some point to
I certainly hope so. One of our longest running media partnerships, the River 95.3.
So listen in, you
I
could win
still
a free
miss
ticket.
going over there. When I go over there, I get to see Lonnie and I get to see Willis and all those other folks. I wish we'd go back to taping these there.
We could do that. Maybe if you bring Kevin Bacon.
It's always about Kevin Bacon.
Of
isn't it?
course, duh. Until you give me a. Usually, here's what needs to happen. You need to start running your lineup by me before it's finalized, so I can tell you who it is that I want to meet, and then you can work that into their contract. Like I want green M&Ms only only in a bowl backstage. That's what needs to happen.
I'll do that. I will put it next time Kevin Bacon comes here. I will put a clause in the offer letter that says, "You must meet Janet."
Yes, he doesn't even have to do the radio show with me. I just need 10 seconds. Enough for a selfie so I can tell everybody he and I are close personal friends, and I too am 0 degrees of Kevin Bacon. That's all I'm looking for. So, musicfest.org.
Musicfest.org.
Get all your tickets. Know that you can bring a blanket, you can bring a cooler, you can do all of that cool fun stuff. Leave your pets, your tents, and your canopies at home, and enjoy the evening, rain or shine.
And buying tickets is like boating in Chicago, early and often.
On that note, I will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of The Valley Today, a few minutes after.
But you won't have this much fun now tomorrow, will you?
And see, we're recording before the holiday. I don't even know who the guest is going to be tomorrow, so I have no clue. But probably not. But meet me back here for that anyway.